Things you didn't know about Ronaldo. And first up, his $600,000 purchase that almost got him kicked out of football. Back in August, Ronaldo signed a $72 million deal, so he blew $600,000 on a brand new Urus and a Bentley Flying Spur. But it wasn't until Ronaldo pulled up to practice that these ruined him and his teammates' lives. A few hours earlier, Man U hired one of football's most ruthless managers. And the first thing he saw after being hired was leaked pics of Ronaldo pulling up in another new car. Now he could see why Man U was losing games, because their superstar was more focused on impressing degenerates with cameras than actually practicing. So right then and there, the manager banned Ronaldo and his entire club from driving any supercars. And if you disobey, you ain't allowed to play. But at least this punishment ain't as bad as the time Ronaldo faced 5 years in jail. It was 2017. Ronaldo was getting ready for the Champions League final when bang, the Spanish government attacked. Evidence came out that from 2011 to 2014, while Ronaldo was securing millions, behind the scenes, he was secretly funneling $17 million into offshore accounts. Ronaldo was literally committing fraud to evade paying his taxes. So once Spain's government found out, they hit him with an ultimatum. Either 5 years in jail or a $28 million fine. And Ronaldo knew there was no football behind bars, so it was an easy decision. Besides, his contracts had him making the money back that same year. So at least the situation only cost him a fine. Because what happened when he was just 15 almost cost him his life. One day at home, Ronaldo's mom noticed something unusual about him. He was resting, but he was out of breath and his heart was beating over 100 times per minute. So she raced him to the hospital. And at first, little Ronaldo thought his mom was overreacting until the doctor came in with x-rays. And they let the two know that if Ronaldo didn't get surgery, his football career and his life were over. But the surgeons made him a promise. They were going to do everything they could, so they got to work. The surgery was a success, and just a few days later, Ronaldo was already back to training, and ironically, he was faster than ever. So he dedicated his entire life to football, because his life easily could have ended, and he just couldn't let down his best friend, who literally sacrificed his life just so Ronaldo could go pro. A few years earlier, even though Ronaldo's family was dirt poor, he made the best of it, all cause of football and his best friend Albert. These two were like brothers, cause they both loved football and had dreams of going pro, until one day, changed both of their lives forever. It was game day for the Under-18 championship, and a scout from Sporting was there recruiting. Ronaldo and Albert were both making a name. This game was the opportunity they worked their entire childhood for. But see, Sporting could only sign one more player. So this game determined both boys' entire life. And eventually Ronaldo let reporters know. They told us that whoever scored more goals would be accepted to their academy. I scored the first, then Albert scored a header. On the third goal, he had a wide open shot, but instead, he passed to me so I scored. We won 3-0, but only I was accepted to Sporting Lisbon. So after the game I asked him, why? And he answered, "You're better than me." But listen, that's where things got even crazier. A few years later, a journalist just had to find out the truth. So she traveled to Albert's house knowing after that game, he gave up football and was unemployed. But thinking she'd pull up to a pretty normal house, it actually turned out to be a mega mansion with a supercar collection. Like, where did all of this come from? Well, all Albert could say was, Ronaldo. So at least that one word made Albert millions. Kinda reminds me of the time Ronaldo said one word, and it literally cost the company billions. Coming into Euro 2020, right before Ronaldo's matchup against Hungary, he was obligated to show up and answer questions at the press conference. But right when he sat down, now you'd think Ronaldo promoting water would save lives, but behind the scenes, Coca-Cola's brand literally died. Before the press conference, Coke shares were worth $56, but by the end of the interview, they'd fallen to $55. That $1 drop-off literally meant one word and 4 seconds of Ronaldo's time lost Coca-Cola $4 billion in market value. But see, money like that to them, it's nothing. Let's talk about the time Ronaldo paid a girl $10 million to literally disappear. Back in 2010, the world found out that Ronaldo had just started dating a supermodel. Then out of nowhere, he made a Facebook announcement that seemed impossible. At first the fans thought Ronaldo was hacked, cause he said, "It's with great joy and emotion that I inform I've recently become a father to a baby boy." But he just announced his new girlfriend. Well, social media's detectives just had to get to the bottom of this. And apparently during Ronaldo's last year playing for Man U, him and his boys took a trip to the United States where one night, Ronaldo was fiending for dessert. So they stopped at a restaurant, but he decided he'd rather have the waitress's cake. Ronaldo left her his number and they planned for a little sneaky link. And I'm sure y'all know what happened next. But anyways, having lives in different countries, Ronaldo thought after that night, he'd never see the girl again. Until a few months later, his agent's phone rang. She was pregnant. At first, Ronaldo didn't know what to think. This entire situation could ruin his life. So he offered her $11 million to keep quiet, her identity a secret, and to get full custody of Ronaldo Jr. To this day, neither the world or Jr. knows his mom's real identity, but Ronaldo's admitted that when the time's right, he'll tell Jr. the truth. Now something Ronaldo won't tell the world about is the time he got bullied into an addiction. When Ronaldo first arrived at Sporting, he was from way out of town, and now living in a new area with no friends, he instantly had a target on his back. Every single day in class, bullies clowned him for thinking he'd become a pro football player. And to make the situation worse, Ronaldo was always late to class. But this school had a zero tolerance policy, and if you were late, you'd be forced to carry a heavy trash car they called the Ferrari. So little Ronaldo constantly became a victim. And anytime he was seen in the hallways, driving the Ferrari, those bullies shouted things like, "Vroom vroom," and "There goes Ronnie driving the Ferrari. Go faster, boys, speed up." So one day he told them, "You can laugh as much as you want, but one day, I'll drive a real Ferrari." And they just laugh at him. Now Ronaldo could've let their roast bring him down, but instead, it fueled him. Fast forward to 2021, Ronaldo accomplished exactly what he said. And now that he makes over $500,000 a week, the man just can't stop buying cars. So I know his bullies are mad. Just like the innocent girl Ronaldo knocked out. See, scientists recently discovered Ronaldo's power can make footballs reach 80 miles an hour, meaning each of his kicks are damn near lethal. And here in 2021, a security guard learned this the hard way. Now, I don't know why she was standing right behind the goal, but that bop instantly made her drop to the ground. Yeah, Ronaldo came over to help, but he's a football player, not a doctor. So he thought the only way to heal her up was handing over his jersey. And somehow it worked, so I'm sure she won't be having nightmares. Like the time Ronaldo's entire family was literally haunted by animals. At first, Ronaldo's 2021 was a huge year. Dude became football's first ever billionaire. He was transferred back to Man U, and when you combine all that, our boy needed a new crib, so he splashed $8 million on a mega mansion that came with 7 bedrooms, a movie theater, indoor gym, was completely surrounded by open fields. So Ronaldo thought his family would love the new place and all this peace and quiet, until one night, Ronaldo met his kryptonite. See, in order for him to be successful, he needs 5 naps per day and 8 hours of sleep at night. But what Ronaldo didn't know was, he just moved on a land filled with some of the noisiest animals. In the fields outside, he was being stalked by sheep? Yeah, for weeks straight, every single night, they'd wake up the entire family. So eventually Ronaldo said enough's enough. Put his house up for sale, packed his bags, and bought a new house for $4 million. But not even that compares to Ronaldo's biggest secret. A few years ago, Ronaldo shocked the world when in a game against Sampdoria, he channeled his inner Air Jordan.
From Cristiano Ronaldo!
That jump wasn't only a world record. A study was conducted measuring the leap, and Ronaldo generated 5G of G-force on that takeoff, and his jump was 5 times the power of a cheetah. He leaped over 28 inches, reached the ball 2 meters in the air, and held in the air for over a second. And just so you understand how crazy that is, let's compare Ronaldo's leap to one of the most iconic moments in sports history. Michael Jordan's free throw line dunk is something that'll live on forever, but MJ barely reached a meter in the air with a hang time of less than a second. So one of Jordan's greatest moments can't even compete with Ronaldo's header. No wonder why after the game Ronaldo tweeted this. But listen, that tweet's no joke. He was hinting at something. For years, Ronaldo studied Jordan, and we all know what happened as he got older. And lately, Ronaldo's been spotted playing basketball, throwing down dunks. So if the NBA starts allowing this, NBA players should get real scared. And hear me out. According to Top End Sports, the average vertical at NBA players was measured at 71 centimeters, but Ronaldo's is 76. Talking he could jump higher than Magic Johnson, Karl